Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. We are taking a look today at the latest on the Anaheim Ducks. There's been a lot of rumors about the three big names, right? Rickard Rakell, Josh Manson, and Hampus Lindholm. We're starting to hear about another big name in Anaheim, maybe being on the trade block, so we'll be taking a look at that today. So, starting off with Pierre LeBrun. Ducks GM Pat Verbeek was as clear as it gets. I like that. Either Hampus Lindholm, Josh Manson, and Rickard Rakell sign extensions before the deadline, or they're getting dealt for assets. Won't let them walk out the door for free. I like that. I like Pat Verbeek putting a stamp right down and saying, listen, this is how we're going to do things here. I don't know how you guys used to do. I mean, Bob Murray, I know things didn't really end well, but he was very much like that. He had that same sort of mindset. I think, man, Pat Verbeek, I really like this guy already. I liked him when they signed him, brought him in. I think that was a great hire. And we're seeing that right off the bat here. He's being pretty open, and he's saying, listen, you guys want to come to the table and get things done? Great. If not, expect to be dealt by the deadline. Start packing your bags. I think that's a really good, very forward, not leaving much discrepancy. I think that's a really good mindset there, and is going to gain respect, not only from the team and the locker room, but from the league in general. People are going to be like, I like that. I like how he's very direct with that. So that is definitely something to look at, and I guess we'll know by the deadline. If they're not signed, they're going to be traded that day. So this is from Elliot Friedman. The Anaheim Ducks are concerned about giving Hampus Lindholm term on a contract. Now, I think that's sort of interesting. I think that more so has to do with what he's done really the last 2 years. He's not been bad, but he hasn't been Hampus Lindholm. Not the Hampus Lindholm we've seen for the years prior to COVID. He's definitely taken a step, maybe not back necessarily, but not forward either. He's kind of stayed stagnant. I think, they were hoping to get more out of Lindholm here. And I think that's kind of why they're kind of in a spot where they're like, are you what we saw the first couple years or what we've seen recently? Unfortunately, they're going to go off of, well, what have you done for me recently? And unfortunately, Hampus Lindholm hasn't given the Ducks management enough to say, even with their new guys in, saying, listen, you haven't given us enough where we're going to be willing to let you walk for nothing. It's not worth it. We'd rather trade you for assets and not have to worry about it come this summer. And that's the ultimate thing. We've already heard Lindholm kind of come out and say he wants to test the free agency market this summer. So for the Ducks, it just seems like kind of an easy answer. It's probably not going to work. And that's what leads us to the more complicated thing. Maxime Comtois is on the trade block. Now, according to a lot of different people, and we'll get to that. So this is the first one from Eric Stevens. Ducks forward Maxime Comtois may benefit from a change of scenery. That's kind of where this whole thing started. And I can agree with that. He's had a down season. He led the team in goals and points last year. And all of a sudden, it's been the Troy Terry, Trevor Zegras show. And Maxime Comtois has kind of lost that flair that he had last year. And this is from Jeff Merrick. Maxime Comtois is one of those names that we're starting to hear out there more and more. He's had a tough season and scratched a number of times recently. And that's on the coaching. And I'm not saying that's against Dallas Eakins, but I think that's just showing you that maybe there is a little bit more of a disconnect between Max Comtois and the organization right now. And I could really see a trade coming here. I think the Ducks, like I mentioned, they have a lot of good players coming out of nowhere, like Troy Terry, like Zegras, that are going to start to fill up that top six. And maybe Comtois isn't a part of that moving forward. And that's definitely something to look at. And, even Isaac Lundestrom, I mean, there's been a lot of guys on the Ducks that have really improved. Really exciting stuff. But unfortunately, that may mean Comtois is on his way out. And this is from Jeff Merrick. Comtois is a name we've heard more in the trade rumors, and we already talked about that. So I like Comtois. I really liked what he did last season. But again, is it a one-year flicker and they're trying to cash him out here at this year's deadline and say, oh, we'll get better next year? Or is it more I think it's going to come down to what they could get for him. If they can get a reasonable trade for him, I think they'll go down that route. But if there's not an offer that's really flattering, they may just say, screw it, we're just going to keep him. So guys, that is it for today's video. Comment down below, what do you think of Maxime Comtois getting traded out of Anaheim? Do you think it's good for him? Do you think it's good for the Ducks? Let me know. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.